Hi, Sheila. Alrighty, let's get started on your reading. Let's see, what does Sheila need to hear for her highest and best good? Let's get Sheila's energy. Sheila today. Let's see where Sheila's at. Wow, interesting. I did see that at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this could be a situation that you have previously been very defensive about. You could have been, it's something that I think that you are very, it's something that's very, how do I say this? Like, it's independent to you. So something that you had been very defensive about. And it almost seems like you could be starting to let your guard down about this. So let's see what the challenge is. What's the challenge for Sheila? Oh, okay. So there's a lot of internal conflict around this. But it's something that you are walking away from emotionally, and it's causing you a lot of sadness and grief. So you're feeling a lot of heavy emotions, a lot of sadness, and there could be some, hi Peach, there could be some shame or guilt involved in this, but it does look like the challenge is going through that grief process and at the same time learning to walk away from this in order to find your emotional fulfillment in an area that has it. But there's still so much internal conflict, and this could also be external conflict as well, something that's causing you a lot of sadness. But I always see this card as something that's very internal, so something that is just a lot of internal stress. And what's interesting about the Five of Wands is that it's not so much even your thinking or like anxiety or anything like that. It's more of this like just physical stress from this. And whatever it is, it's you're not fulfilled with this, and you're trying to walk away from it, but I think that the walking away from it is what is bringing this challenge. What's in her subconscious energy? Oh, the Two of Swords in reverse and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So it's definitely talking about making a decision to finally drop something or just make that final decision. This could be because with the Two of Swords in the upright, you had previously been in a place where you were feeling indecisive about something. But if you notice this card, this person is blindfolded, and so they have their guard up, and they're kind of, they don't even know, what to they don't even see the possibilities around them. And in the reverse, it's kind of like saying you're taking the blindfold off and realizing that the threat isn't so much there, and you're able to finally drop something and make a decision. Now, this is in your subconscious energy, so it's not like you're acting on this. This is what your subconscious, which I think leads more into what your soul is telling you to do. And so your soul is kind of leading you to drop something. And it could be, making a final decision about it. What is the past that led up to this? Wow, okay. So it does look like you are in the past here, the past that has affected the current energy is that you're in a very stable place financially. And so this is, you have everything that you need, and it's very stable. But there's something that just doesn't feel, this could be with the Justice card, it could be saying that you have like really stood for something, like your point is really being pushed. But then we have this inspirational new idea that's coming with it. And so it's showing that you have a very financially stable and grounded position that you're coming in. But at the same time, there's this lack of emotional fulfillment from this situation. And you're inspired by something in the past here. There's this inspiration that you're being driven with, and it's a new idea, this inspirational new thing. And it's almost like you deserve this because the Justice is here. And then it's hard to say because I don't know what happened in between here. But whatever happened, there was something that isn't like fulfilling to you emotionally. What is the present energy? Wow. Okay, so you have the Three of Wands and the Five of Swords. The Three of Wands is a card that talks about waiting for your ships to come in. So it's I see the idea, and you, in between here, there must have been some planning. And then we have and then here in your present energy, we have the plan, the idea, and now you're waiting to see what is going to come of it. And it looks like you're almost in a place of winning at all costs, almost. Like, I will kind of do whatever it takes to make this happen. Which is interesting because at the core of your reading, you have you being very guarded and very defensive. But for whatever reason, you're letting down these defenses. What's in the near future? Wow, the Tower and the Knight of Cups. So there is an energy of a very back and forth And the suit of cups talks about within your emotions. So you could be feeling very emotionally charged and moving forward with something at times, but then at other times you could be kind of going back on it. And so it's a very in and out energy. But I think that with that is bringing this very abrupt change. And the Tower card talks about something where you have built this complete foundation around this, and then there's a change that kind of this foundation comes crumbling down. And so it's like this unexpected too. It's not something that you had expected to happen, but it's very abrupt. The thing with the Tower is that situations like this have to happen in order for something. It's almost like Spirit bringing this abrupt change so that all of this foundation that has been built can crumble, because there's something new that is being brought in that needs room, and this new thing is here to replace it. The new thing could be this. So I almost wonder if this is talking about this new plan that's coming in. Things are going to have to change very abruptly, and it's causing you a lot of grief because of it. What's the advice? And with this waiting process, because it looks like right now you're in this waiting process, and I think that within this waiting process, things could happen a lot quickly or a lot more quickly than you had planned for them to happen. Maybe you weren't prepared for things to happen this quickly. So your advice is saying that there are some things that need to be left behind. And there is even, this to me says that there is an energy and that's available to you. And it's saying that you could be feeling this very impulsive energy to just do things and get them done very quickly. But at the same time, I think that because this idea or this new thing is so in its beginning stages, I think that there's a lot of in and out energy that's coming into it. And so sometimes it's like you're very sure of it, sometimes you're not. And the advice is kind of saying that maybe that you need to have this in and out energy, because it could be helping guide you to see what things you need to leave behind. And so maybe these processes are happening so that at some points you're wanting to move forward, and during those moments the things that you are wanting to leave behind are kind of taking a back seat. But then you go back to them and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to leave this behind. And then you're pushed with another like force of energy that's saying, go forward with this. And then it's like these things get left behind, but each time you're realizing that these things are being left behind, maybe the sadness isn't as strong. And then this is talking about another, it's feeling very overly emotional and not really thinking very logically. And so maybe there does need to be a bit of, because if the advice was saying to think logically about something, this card would be in the upright. And so I interpret this as saying that maybe this period that you're going through does need to be extremely emotional, because all of these emotions are being brought up right now. And so within this period, it's almost feeling like this is the time to address these emotions. What are the incoming energies? The Eight of Wands. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see. The Eight of Wands. Is that good? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Wands in reverse. So again, we have another Knight, and this talks about the beginning stages of an energy. And at the same time, there's a lot of very fast movement. And so this is talking about, extremely fast energies coming in and inspiring you to move forward. This can also talk about a lot of conversations happening very, very quickly. And at the same time, there's still a lack of a plan that's coming into play. And I think that this is coming into play because certain things are being missed. And so when you're looking at a plan, maybe it's not as meticulous as you're going to need it to be. And there's also a struggling to release a very heavy burden that's coming along with this situation. And so I do think that these Knights that are showing up here, I think you have, and I think it's also hard for you because I think that you're coming from a place of extreme stability. And so I'm thinking that for you to experience these energies of the beginning stages of something, it's very uncomfortable for you. And I think that's why some of these things are happening, to teach you this. It's a whole different view of things. It's bringing in this whole new energy that I don't think that you're very experienced with. But I think that because it's happening so quickly, it's going to bring extremely good rewards for you. What are Sheila's hopes? What are Sheila's hopes? So you have the Queen of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Four of Cups. And so I think that there's a part of you that is hoping that something better is coming. You may be dissatisfied with whatever it is you're being presented with. And you could be hoping to it's almost, I almost am picking up this energy of you kind of wanting to go about things your own way, almost, is what it feels like. You're kind of wanting to do things your own way. And not even like open up the possibility of speaking about it. Or, I think it's not even like kind of just, I'm not even willing to maybe hear other people. I'm doing this how I'm doing it. And a strong dissatisfaction for anything that's really coming in. And I never, if I am reading somebody's cards, I always think that the energies that they're going through and experiencing, that's the right way. Because I think, maybe your soul is kind of telling you, I know which way I'm going. And I don't, all of the other options that are being presented to me, aren't for me. And maybe you just know that. You just have this inner knowing. What are her fears? Exactly. The Nine of Cups in reverse and the Magician in reverse. You're fearing that whatever whatever you're doing is not going to bring your wish fulfillment. You're fearing that you're going to get into a situation that you do not want to be in, and that's not your dream, basically. And you're also scared that once you get to this position, if it's not what you wanted, then how are you going to get out of it? I don't have what it takes now. And so I think you're coming into a very controlling energy where you are kind of taking control of this situation in an almost extreme way to get things done how you want them to get done. How do these energies resolve? The Two of Pentacles in reverse, the Magician, and the Three of Cups. So it's interesting because there is going to be an opportunity where you are dropping something which will make it easier for you to balance whatever it is that you're trying to do. And at the same time, you still may feel like there's just more needed to make this happen. I think that there will still be a cause for celebration. You could still get maybe part of what you're looking for, or maybe it's like you're celebrating these first initial steps being done. But I still think that, and that might be part of what you're dropping. It could be completing certain parts of this plan. But I do think that it's still going to leave you with a lot more to do. So you're not completely finished yet, but it's still something to celebrate, something that you are working towards maybe. Okay, so let's see. So now what I do is I pull a card over some of the cards that maybe I'm having a hard time getting, or it's not even a hard time, it's more just like peeling off another layer of the onion just to see a deeper meaning of each card. So what is the Seven of Wands in reverse? Yeah, there's something that you're working very slowly towards. And also this energy is very slow moving. And so it's interesting because there's a very slow moving energy involved, but at the same time, a very fast moving energy involved. I think this fast moving energy is going to come after this abrupt change happens. But in your present energy, you're overworking yourself on something. It's almost to the point of feeling burnt out. But it looks like you're still pushing forward, so this is you still going for that last and final push. I think that because we go from the 9 and the 10 to over here, with the 10 being in reverse, I think you're still going for this final push and really trying to put in the effort to make this happen. But I think that once you get to a point, you may feel like, I think that's when the grief comes in, possibly. Maybe that unfinished grief. What's the Ace of Wands? Ooh. We have the Six of Wands. This is a lot of fire energy in here too, so I don't know if you are a fire sign or possibly an earth sign, but you're going towards something very passionately and you're looking for a victory in this. And with this victory comes public recognition. You want people to see this accomplishment that you are pushing towards, and you want to be validated and assured, and it's more about just public recognition, people recognizing you for all of the work that you're putting in. And so I think that with this new idea, it's like, I want to be, seen for what I've done, all of the work that I've put in. And then we have the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. And so this is, again, walking away from something that was just no longer suiting you. What's the Three of Wands? Yeah, wow. So we have this Three of Wands, and then we have the Queen of Cups. And so this is also you saying that you're pushing towards something that you find complete, absolute love in. The Queen of Cups is somebody who's extremely nurturing and loving, and it's a lot about taking care of children, or just really being involved emotionally with others and being completely available to others as well. And so it looks like you are, in the present moment, you're stepping into this position of being completely emotional and emotionally vulnerable, and at the same time you're waiting for this plan to finally, I think, bring some sort of victory to you. What's the Tower? Again, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this Tower could be coming in possibly to help you release this burden. And the burden could be possibly the need to kind of over control something. You could be coming in with almost like a lesson of some sort of saying, this situation is going to happen, but in divine timing. You could be, and I think that there is this energy of really watching something, or really wanting it to happen, and also there's a lack of clarity around it. So what is the Tower? It's something to do, it could be possibly something to do with a new home, but this talks about your foundation, your family, something that brings you stability. I see this card a lot of times as a new home, but it also could just be your foundation, something that you find a lot of stability in. But also there's an energy of bringing balance in. And so maybe that balance is letting go of some of this control and just kind of letting things happen with more of like the flow of the universe. What's the Magician in reverse? Okay, so I think that this is kind of saying to approach this situation more from a very, and I think that because this is in the outcome, I think maybe you're going to be seeing this. Maybe right now it's a little bit clouded for you to see, but I think that you right now could be almost, it could be like over materialistic or over judgmental almost, and not like in a bad way, but it's just like maybe like a way that you could say it would be like very particular. And so the outcome, I see you approaching this situation from more of a loving standpoint, something that you is more emotional rather than like with kind of like this passionate energy, or like any kind of thinking, or material like in the physical world. So you're approaching this more from an emotional standpoint rather than any of the other things. Okay, so let's get you an oracle card to see. So what is the advice for Sheila? Oh, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. Where's my book? Oh. Which is really interesting because it was like in the beginning of this, I was kind of saying like, you know, maybe you are meant to say no. Like, this is how I want things to be done, and maybe you are going through that because you are looking for something very particular. And so with the outcome of these energies, I would say that it's more of you're kind of going through those energies, and at the end of the day realizing that it's a much more emotional process for you than it was anything else. And so this could say you're giving too much, become more assertive, don't do things out of guilt or obligation, which is interesting because we do have a challenge of doing things because of guilt, but at the same time wanting to walk away. Very, very interesting. So I'm really interested to hear what you think about this and which parts of it resonated with you. If you have any questions, we can always pull more cards to clarify certain parts of it. So yeah, let me know what you think. I am excited for you to get this. It will probably take forever to upload on my YouTube channel, so I'm apologizing ahead of time. But yeah, let me know what you think. Have a good night. Bye bye.